Greetings, folks. Healer here. Today's replay is courtesy of a returning player to the channel. This is Wes the Handsome, whom my regular viewers will recognize as a cruiser main. I think all of the replays from Wes on the channel up to this point have been cruiser replays. But for this match, he is sailing for us the Tier 10 Royal Navy battleship, HMS Conqueror. This is in fact a ranked battle from the 14th ranked season that was held on 0.8.10 in early and mid-December. This is a domination match on riposte, and there are aircraft carriers involved. Now, Wes's build in the Conqueror is mostly a tank build. He takes the steering gears modification 2 upgrade in slot 4 instead of the damage control system upgrade, and this gives him some better maneuverability on his ship. And he also has the expert loader skill, which to me seems to be quite sensible for an upper tier Royal Navy battleship, since their HE is very good. And I would welcome feedback from regular players of Royal Navy battleships, or at least the upper tiers, for their opinion on taking Expert Loader, as I'm about to pick up the Conqueror myself in game. Now, when Wes sent this replay over to me, a couple of things. First off, we're obviously going to see a very good game from Wes's perspective for both himself and his team. But also, Wes, I think, was looking for some feedback on his battleship play because, again, he is a cruiser main and he wanted to understand or get some opinion on how well he plays Battleship. Now, there's a couple of things that I look for when I play Battleship and when I see others play Battleship. First is to be close enough to objectives to support them. Just because you can fire 20 or more kilometers, like Wes is doing right here on some of the opposing battleships on the west side, but you want to be close enough to the objectives, the caps to take, and so on, that you can support your team and get those big hits on the threats to being able to take or defend the caps. And then the second thing that I look for in good battleship play is absorbing damage. Battleships are the damage sponges of the team. They have the most health, they have the best armor, they have repair party consumables all the way up from the lowest tiers to the highest tiers. They are intended to take the shots for the team. And in fact, when I play Battleship, I expect to be sunk. That's just my mentality when I go in. So long as I've used most or all of my repair party charges in the process, then I kind of feel like I've done my job from that perspective. And so, and for this match, Wes, excuse me, Wes is looking for feedback on his battleship play. So coming to the gameplay, the Allies have now just given up first blood to the opposition by losing their Hindenburg to a detonation. And this is probably a good lesson or good reminder for folks. In any competitive situation like ranked or clan battles, that is the time to use the signals. I know a lot of people that use signals in random battles. Those are fine too. But the time to really use them, or the highest value, is in competitive situations. And the most important signal of all to use is the Juliet Charlie signal, which is the anti-detonation signal, and prevents exactly the type of thing that just happened to Wes's team, is they're already down one ship due to that. Now, Wes's team have successfully secured Bravo. Alpha is currently uncontested. There is only one destroyer per team, and both the Allied and enemy destroyer went to the same cap, as Wes gets a couple of fires on the midway. In fact, one thing that Wes pointed out to me when he sent this replay over to me is that he felt that the enemy aircraft carrier was actually quite poorly positioned and made himself quite vulnerable. I don't have a good opinion there. I think aircraft carrier play can be quite challenging in terms of where's a good place to position your ship so that you can get your strikes off more efficiently, as the Allies do take down the one opposing destroyer over by Bravo. Bravo. So that's definitely going to help the Allies. But if there are any regular aircraft carrier players like uh, uh, Clark Griswold, or is I guess now known as Fletcher, if anybody has an opinion on the positioning of the opposing carrier here, that would be good. The carrier is positioned at looks like Hotel 5 behind the island, and he had actually been quite visible. I think part of the problem is that he's too far away from the island, so that shells arcing over, like Wes is able to do here, are able to hit the aircraft carrier pretty reliably. Now, coming back to Wes's positioning here, I think Wes's positioning is very good. That's my opinion. He's close enough to the cap that the allies have taken, that he's able to absorb shots for the team. He is going to actually tank a lot of damage here. He hasn't tanked too much right now, but he will tank a considerable amount more. In fact, the Allies have just lost the other battleship that's over here trying to defend the Bravo cap, the Montana. So that's now going to make Wes probably a priority target for the enemies. In fact, you can see that his priority target count is bouncing between 2 and 3. So he does know that he's, in fact, now it's up to 4. He does know that the opposition is looking to try to get him off the flank, and Wes is going to have to turn around here and do some tactical retreating. Now, need to give a shout out to the daring on Wes's team, who's doing a good job. One, staying alive, which is super critical, but also with the spotting on the flank, and so that's definitely helping. Wes has gotten another salvo out here on the midway. I don't remember if he finishes off the midway with this shot. He does get another fire, and yes, he does indeed finish off the aircraft carrier. So, but Wes, again, does need to turn around. He is facing the strong flank of the opposition, and so he needs to sort of tactically retreat here. He is going to take several more shots. Now, the Allied Kurfürst has moved into Alpha, which is great, so that the Allies can take the other cap, except that the Kurfürst is seen from space, and is going to be easily reset by the opposition. Here's the Minotaur from the opponents. Wes wants to peel away from him. In my opinion, the Allies should have sent their Minotaur into Alpha, because the Minotaur has exceptionally good concealment for a cruiser, and especially now that the aircraft carrier and the destroyer have been eliminated, the Minotaur can very easily move into Alpha undetected, take that cap without being challenged. And instead, what's happening right now is the Kurfürst that is in Alpha is taking all the shots. But fortunately, a couple of his allies, including the Minotaur, have moved into Alpha, and they are going to take that cap. Now, that being said, the opponents are now starting to take Bravo, because this is their strong flank, and Wes is needing to peel off here away from the opponents. So, and this is the place where Wes is going to start taking a lot more potential damage. He's over 1 million right now, but this is exactly what he wants to do. Is he wants to take this damage for the team. He's got both the Thunder and the Montana firing on him, and in fact, there's a third ship that's targeting him. I think that's the Puerto Rico. I may be wrong, but he's defending, keeping the opponents from taking Bravo. Although there are 2 ships in the Bravo cap, and you really want to be hitting both to get a proper reset. He's focusing all of his attention on the Montana, which is probably his bigger threat, because that's the ship that's closer to him. Does have at least 1 fire. Now he's going to go and target the Minotaur that is moved into the cap, but the opponents have indeed secured the Bravo cap. Now the ship count is even. The Allies have a significant point lead. But it's still, at this point, could be anybody's game. The daring on Wes's team is keeping things spotted. Fortunately, the daring does take down the Montana that was driving the push into Bravo, and now Wes is going to be firing on the Minotaur. Now, this is one of the places where AP might be more effective against on this target, because he could finish off the Minotaur with his shot. But with this salvo, he's going to actually get a Citadel hit and earn high caliber with his HE, which speaks to the buffed penetration of the 419 millimeter shells of the Conqueror, as well as, frankly, kind of the weakness of the Minotaur's armor. Now, Wes is, I think he did intend to go back into concealment here, and that will allow him to not be focused so much by the Minotaur, though the Minotaur has now taken his focus off of Wes. And Not sure. Oh, I guess, okay, now his bloom goes down. I thought his bloom had already gone down. My mistake. In any case, he's going to now work the Thunder, but it would be ideal, be preferable that he could try to finish off the Minotaur, because the Minotaur is actually a legitimate torpedo threat. The Minotaur can stealth torpedo reliably, and Wes is having to push back in here as the tip of the spear on the west flank, or try to be the tip of the spear on the west flank, to keep the remainder of the opponents away from being able to push into Alpha. But frankly, the Allies are tactically in a very good position. They are able to put all of the opponents in crossfire situations as he gets another 10K HE salvo on the Thunder with a fire. Wes is closing in on 200,000 in damage here. The Minotaur has now refocused his attention on Wes, and he is going to slip back into concealment. The Minotaur is. No, now it pops up again. Wes is going to get another salvo off here. And again, hats off to the Daring, who's, even though they weren't able to keep the Bravo cap, they at least, he's been able to keep the opponents from pushing back through. He and Wes have been able to keep the opponents from pushing back through Bravo towards Alpha. They do take down the Minotaur, and that just leaves two opponents to Wes's four, including himself. The Thunder is trying to make a push back in towards Alpha. I mean, at this point, the opponents need to, basically throw everything they have remaining at this to even have any chance of winning. The Montana, we don't know that the Montana that Wes is targeting here, we don't know if he has any other repair party charges left, but he is very low in health from what we can see. But again, here he should be trying to push in and be side by side with the Thunder, try to do his best at this point to redeem anything from the game if possible. But he's just going to continue to peel away here. He does get set on fire by Wes, which he immediately damage controls, which tells me that he probably has gone through all of his repair party charges and can't afford to take any more fire damage. Wes is going to change his attention to the Thunder that's pushing up. But you could tell from the cue of the music that we're starting to wind down here. Wes has definitely gotten over 200,000 now. He's going to get quite a bit more damage here. I think this is a 17K HE salvo on the Thunder. And the Thunder does go down to torpedoes from the Minotaur. That just leaves the Montana, which again Wes had set on fire earlier with a previous salvo, and so that damage control is is currently on cooldown. And Wes is going to get another salvo out here, and he is going to set the Montana on fire, and that is going to finish off the Montana and get Wes up to I think 232,000 in damage. So he's earned high caliber, wither, and he has tanked almost over 2.7 million in damage. So he definitely took a lot of shots for the team, which was good, which is exactly what he should do. He got a lot of damage in, which is excellent. Took down a couple of the opposition ships and did a really nice job. So great game, Wes. Almost 2,500 base XP, top of the leaderboard. So thank you very much for sharing, Wes. I hope everybody here enjoyed the replay and the commentary. And as always, we hope to see you out there on the virtual seas, and we wish you happy sailing.